This is the weekend we have all been waiting for. Yes, football has returned about a month ago with the Bundesliga, but now you have, I don't think you can have to argue this, the four major European leagues all in action: Germany, Italy, Spain, England. You could watch all sorts of games. You could change here. Games starting on the West Coast at around 5 a.m., going on to about 4 in the afternoon, all staggered. It is fantastic. And I put in a good 20, 25 hours during the week. The games will continue Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's fantastic to be a football fan, to a degree. Obviously, the fans are being missed more and more as some of these games come around, and we'll talk about that here shortly. You know, there are some supporters out there that don't want these games to move forward, and for good reason, because there is this symbiotic nature between the supporters and the players and the teams. I saw it with Everton, Liverpool. That was a big derby game, but without fans, it's nothing. It's another game. You got the shirts. But the supporters make those rivalry games, and the supporters have made soccer a multi-billion-dollar industry. There is no argument about that. Some of the players aren't used to playing in empty stadiums. You can see it, and this is going to put a lot of emphasis on coaching, because the coaches are going to have to identify those guys that may not have that oomph, that energy, because there's no fans. There's something not used to. We have to go on to it. There is a group that say, like I mentioned, want football to come back whole with supporters and all. I just remind everyone that this is the means to an end. We get the games, we get some supporters, then we get all supporters. If everything goes well, this will happen sooner than later. A lot to unpack on this weekend. I'm going to start with the group that I think has benefited the most from post-quarantine soccer, and that is U.S. men's national team. The U.S. men's national. Their players are thriving here. Christian Pulisic scored a big goal off the bench for Chelsea. Gio Reyna, the game-winning assist on his first start for Borussia Dortmund. A beautiful little pass for Haaland, who is just a monster right now. And that secured second spot in Germany. These are high-profile situations. Chris Richards, who played 27 games for Bayern's reserve team, made his Bayern debut. This is monumental. Weston McKennie playing well for Schalke, playing regularly. It's a shame the Bundesliga is going to end next week, because you want it to keep going, because these young players, young American players, are reaping the benefits. This is invaluable. Chris Richards playing for Bayern. Bayern could be the best club in the world. I think they are right now. So all of it comes back, and this is great news for a country that has had very little good news on the men's side with regards to this sport. It doesn't mean they're going to all of a sudden qualify for the World Cup. They will. Or win games in the World Cup. I think there's a moment here to really point that the youth movement has arrived, and we have to hand the keys to them completely. I didn't want to talk about Pulisic, because I know on this program, when it used to be called Full-Time, I was critical of Frank Lampard. Opening game of the season, Pulisic, all the reports, he was doing great in training, record signing, doesn't start the game at Old Trafford. So that's a missed opportunity. To start the game at Old Trafford, that's something that Pulisic will never get back. And I kept quiet because maybe I was wrong and maybe Lampard was right. But with the performance of Pulisic, and in England, he's getting criticized for not scoring enough goals. He is the second leading scorer on that team. He's a wide player. He's not the forward. But there's some criticism about that. But Chelsea laboring, Pulisic on the bench for their return game against Aston Villa. He comes in and changes the game, scores a goal 5 minutes after coming in, and I'm here again. Here again. Frank Lampard's going to be a good coach, whether it's with this team or the next. But I don't know what's behind it, but it's getting very old that Christian Pulisic continues having to jump through hoops where other players are. Some would say he was inactive for a while, but Ruben Loftus-Cheek was out for a bit. He got the nod. Willian is not scoring, certainly not more than Pulisic, but he gets the nod. Christian Pulisic deserves that. He shouldn't be looking over his shoulder anymore. He is a game changer for that team. And hopefully this will open it, because next season, nothing's promised. Timo Werner and Ziyech are coming in for Chelsea, so we shall see. But right now, Christian Pulisic is a breath of fresh air for that club. They were victorious. They are the talk of the town, because now they look like a Champions League team. Probably going to make it there. Very good stuff. For young players in general, they're going to get the opportunity. But what the young American player has been benefiting from is huge. One team Well, let's talk about who's not benefiting from post-quarantine football, and it is Juventus and Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo is clearly not 100%. Juventus have Napoli and Inter. Inter got a nice win. Atalanta in the Serie A won again, 4-1. They are pretty much locked into a Champions League spot at this time. Incredible story. And they're still alive in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Keep an eye on the guys from Bergamo. So Juventus have those two coming down hard in the Serie A chase. They lost the Coppa Italia final to Napoli. You look at Cristiano Ronaldo, walking a lot, laboring. It's just not right. Maurizio Sarri even pointed out Ronaldo not at his best, and they're going to get through it. But Juventus as a whole, this is a big spot for them. I mean, they could be left with nothing this season. The Coppa Italia, the easiest of the three to win at this point, they were in the final, is gone. Maurizio Sarri also talked about Miralem Pjanic and the row. I hate to use the English words because I don't use them in normal conversation. But the arguments or whatever, maybe row is the perfect word for it. He was mentioning it was a bit of a hoax, that it wasn't really happening. But you hear these Pjanic rumors of him going elsewhere to multiple teams. Something's not right there at Juventus. And these things are passing things. They come and go. But what you have to see is that post-quarantine, this is a big moment. Bayern seized it, so you expect that from Juventus. All in all, it's been fantastic, the return. We have a genuine race in Spain. Real Madrid took the lead over Barcelona on points, and now we have a really good one in Italy also. So, plenty to keep us busy here. Even if the Bundesliga steps down, we have these other three leagues. It was a very promising return to action. One big topic that has come out of all of this is the piped-in crowd noise. Some people don't like it. Broadcasters are giving people options to see the game with crowd noise or without. I liked it if it's done well. I think after a couple of weeks, the Bundesliga started doing it well. And what do I mean by well? Okay, you got to have somebody there following the game. When a goal-scoring opportunity comes, you got to do whatever. I don't know what it looks like, but you have a panel like a DJ. Maybe they should hire Calvin Harris or Tiesto. Maybe they can skip a season at Wet Republic and come be in charge of the audio. I'm not kidding. Those guys know about sound. Some of those guys have to be football fans. This has to be done well. This would be a high-paying position. So Bundesliga did a nice job with it, but the Premier League, I was watching the Merseyside derby, and it was all over the place. Shot goes up, 2 seconds go by, and then you hear the crowd go, ah! Okay, just like 1 second. So I like the crowd noise if it's done succinctly. If it's a second behind, it's the worst thing ever. Get rid of it. I don't know how serious they are about this. I think empty stadiums, especially big stadiums, really sound bad because you get drowsy. It just doesn't capture it. Man, we need the fans so much. We need the fans in this sport. It has really hit me how much we rely on support. I don't think any sport can say that. Combat sports are back. You miss the fans, but not like this. I don't think they'd miss that in some other sports. But I think this is an important job. So Calvin Harris, Steve Aoki, I don't know all that. I'm getting too old. I'll remember them here. But we need you. The Premier League needs help with the crowd sounds. It's an opportunity. It's helping painting this picture. We've got to do it. It's important. But man, when it's bad, it's not good at all. I meant to mention this earlier. Because of everything going on post-quarantine, I watch all the Bundesliga games. So in addition to the Merseyside derby, you watch Bournemouth versus Norwich. You watch the bottom clubs. It's not good. And I said the top MLS clubs could beat Union Berlin or Norwich or Leganés. And I'm staying with it. I'm standing by that. I think we have kissed the ring too much of the European leagues. I'm not saying Seattle Sounders or Atlanta United is going to come out and beat Liverpool or Man City or Barcelona, but Leganés or Paderborn, yes. All right. Please subscribe to the Soccer O.G. I went black on black with the curtain. You kind of lose it, but it looks all right. Rate, review. Thank you for joining us. Enjoy the games. Fans, I'm thinking about you.